5 minutes.
Your awareness may be powerful enough to control your instincts. Your instinct will be to remove your hand from the box.
It's your girl Meesh, and welcome to another episode of the Luv MEESH Podcast. Okay, so the next part says your pal Kyle and Maurice are inside the game. Their avatars are married to each other and expecting the birth of their first child. Your two best friends in this life are about to be your parents inside the game. I thought that was so amazing. And I remember seeing a movie like that. I forgot the name of it. It was in Spanish and I had to read the words. But when he died, he went to like this off planet. And, you know, he had to prepare himself and recover before he goes back to Earth. And he asked if he had to get permission to come back. And he asked to come back. And his wife had remarried. And he just wanted her to, like, forgive him. At first, he was mad. But then he was happy that she found someone else. And he wanted her to forgive him. And he ended up, he lived in a house with, like, his auntie and his sister. And they were going to go back to Earth. And then that time, the sister would be the mom and the mom would be the daughter. And as they were coming back on Earth, they knew what their new roles would be. But I'm sure when they got there, they wouldn't remember. That's what this reminded me of, too. It's funny how different people from different walks and different cultures are kind of telling the same story, which is why I like to look at everything and not just have myself in a box, because you could be missing something. If your particular culture isn't teaching you something and another culture is, you missed out on that. So I just like to put them all in a row, and they usually be copying each other. The other one says, we have over 546 individuals set to interact with you during your avatar lifetime. 546, both positive and negative, to steer you in the direction of our final objectives. So when I go through things in life, I have to remind myself, like, we go through, well, number one, God gave us this wonderful thing called free will, but nothing's really free. What I realize is, every single choice you have has a consequence and a road or a door or a path. So you think you have complete free will? No, you just have the right to choose, basically. And everything does give you learning, but some may take you down maybe a more happy, blissful path, and some may take you down a more dark, scary, eerie path, hurtful path. But they both are going to do the job. They both are going to give you a lesson. But it's kind of like you choose, do I want an easy lesson or a hard lesson? And I think with more wisdom, you start to take the easier road. But even the most tragic things, you'd be surprised. Like Tyler Perry was freaking homeless. He probably wanted to commit suicide, but that deep, dark, depressing struggle catapulted him. It, gave him a work ethic to work harder and, want more just because of the position he was in. And look, a billionaire. So I bet he wouldn't want to go back and change anything in his life, because who knows? Had he not been homeless, would he be a billionaire? Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, I'm going to keep going. It's possible, if you believe it is, that attitude would transfer to your avatar. Number one is in your sights. I wish you had let me see, Alex. So what they're saying is, in the game, when you play, well, it started out for kids, up to 18, to live as many human lives, to get as much knowledge as wisdom and experience, so that when they do get in the real world, they'll be better humans. That's how it started out. But I guess it just became so popular that the adults that had already played the game and are living their lives started watching the kids and like rooting for them and betting for them. So now the kids aren't just in school, they're actually making money. So the different things that you learn, you get points and stuff, and there's like a scoreboard, and when you come out, you get to collect that money. It makes you think, y'all, like, oh my God. Less than 10 minutes later, Zach was in a deep coma, and soon after, a baby boy was born to Mr. and Miss Radfield in the virtual reality of the game. as was always the case. You get what I'm saying? So the next one says, although not able to see it, they begin to sense it and refer to the present as God. Focusing on too many things destroys focus. I agree with that. I'm starting to learn, like if I just have my eye on one book, I'm finishing it versus flipping through several different books. It takes me forever to read them all. So it's like, okay, we're going to finish the chakra book. And I finished the chakra book, which I was supposed to finish it this week, but I did really bad with that. So with this 3-day weekend, I'm going to try to knock it out the way. Living life as if it is only a game. I think I'm a prodigy. at the game itself, risking it all and winning. I believe my skills are at playing games and winning against all odds. Incarnation. Instead of reading, people turned into the game. See what I mean? And that's why I wanted to throw this in here, because so instead of reading and going out in nature and learning about plants and learning about animals and learning about the ocean, we all gonna be on this VR crap. You know what I mean? Not learning, okay, so right now my mom has a whole garden. If the shit hits the fan, she'll be okay. She'll be able to eat. Can anybody else say that? It's like the skills that we need, we don't have. Do you know how to fish? Have you shot? And I used to be like, oh my gosh, they're shooting deer. But at the end of the day, if they need to eat, they know how to hunt. Oh my gosh, they're getting a fish. At the end of the day, if they need to eat, they got a fishing pole, they're going to eat. So I think a lot of skills we don't have anymore, like Girl Scouts. It should be more about buying cookies. It should be survival skills. Like I remember we slept in a cabin. We were out in nature. It was like a swimming pool, making fire, just like learning skills. Like I don't think they really focus on giving us skills anymore. Okay, so next one says, adjust programming to nudge the system regarding micro effects, large things such as weather patterns to ensure minimum droughts or floods, tidal patterns to make certain the moon doesn't affect the earth too much, and underwater currents to help prevent the earth from becoming too hot or too cold. It's so cool when I say something out loud and it happens. I know it's just a coincidence, but it makes me feel like I have a superpower. Powerful tool, and with much practice we can bend the elements and energies to our will. See, this is before they started fly. Like in the earth game, nobody was able to fly, but she just kept honing in on it and she could. And I really feel like people don't be believing me, but there's people that can see. They can see people that have died, that haven't moved on. They can see angels and demons. Some people can talk to them. This man can put his hand over fire and it can light up. They actually recorded him, and you can go find it over on YouTube. And he said it's chi energy. He showed it to us, but whoever his higher God or religion was said that he wasn't supposed to. Maybe it wasn't time, or just the powers that be, it probably got in the wrong hands, and he just vowed to never show it again. But in my eyes, I would be conflicted if I could do something like that. I would want to share it with the whole world, because there's people that could really use that. What if you could use that chi energy and heal yourself? There's people dying of all kind of diseases right now. If those skills were taught, we wouldn't have to worry about that. But then I get the higher picture, okay, it will get in the wrong hands. They won't teach it to other people. They'll start to do evil with it. It's just a catch-22 with everything. But I always want to vote for the people, the greater good. And I always feel I don't know, love is the greatest. Good will always win. I just feel like no matter how evil things are, good always wins. Which reminds me of Eternal. The man, literally, spoiler alert, he wanted to kill her, but he was in love with her and he couldn't. He really wanted to and he could not. The love. That's what I'm talking about. Love. Yeah, that's when people be like, they murdered so-and-so. So you never love that person. How could you? There's no way you love that person. You would love them so much that you would just leave them. You know what I mean? But because the love for you wouldn't want to do them any harm. So you just leave. But to kill them and to say you love them, that, just, I don't get it. Maybe you didn't love them as much as you thought you did. So the next one says, she started trying to teach me to meditate. I don't really understand it, but it sounds cool to tell my friends that I'm learning. Eternals. Isn't that crazy? This is in a book. This is in the book, Eternals. Now, let me tell you about Eternals. The Eternals were good and evil. They didn't get to choose what they wanted to be. One day their eyes will be yellow, they'd be good. One day their eyes would turn red, they'd be bad. When they're good, they can help. They can bump you into the right people. They can help you. They can help you pass tests. Like all good things, like blessings, like angels. When they are, I think it's Eternals and Infernals. It's like, Eternals with an E and then Infernals with an I. When you're bad, you might make them get an accident. You might make them get a sickness. You might even make them die. You might make them do evil things, mischievous things. But they just have a job. And whether it's good or bad, they're going to do the job. Some of them have been on both sides. And it was so crazy. Like when I was reading the book, one of them was bad for so long and his eyes changed and he was doing good things. Now that to me would creep me out. Like sometimes I think the angels envy us because they have to do what they do regardless. If you're an angel, you're going to be angeling. If you're a devil, you're going to be deviling. Like I don't think they have a choice. But us as humans, we might say, okay, today I'm going to be a good human. Or tomorrow I'm going to raise hell. I think they envy us of that choice, that free will. Just my little insight, okay? A little bit more. I love to read. I just love it. Since someone first put a book in my hand, I've been hooked. Most of my friends don't read, which makes no sense to me. Books contain so much knowledge, clearly written down and there for the taking. If I would literally tattoo that on me, because I agree with that. I'm so happy that my mom, she really put it in us. She was like, she was studying for school. We went to the library so she could study. We would be in the kids department every weekend. We would get our books. We would read. I don't think we was really outside kids. We went outside over the summer a little bit with friends, but I wasn't the one like, oh, I want to go outside. Like that wasn't me. It was, I want to go to my friend's house. I want to go to the pool. I want to go to the park. But it wasn't really outside. So reading was just so interesting to me. But I was on fiction. Now I'm on like religion and numerology and chakras and aliens but before I was on like erotica. See, it was in me at a young age. I remember I was in this DARE program in like middle school and I was reading a Zane book and a lady was like, and I had to hide them from my mom because she didn't want me to read those. She was like, your mama know you got that book? And I was like, yeah, wine like a mug. So see, I've always loved erotica. And then it would be like drama ghetto books that I know nothing about, hood books. The Coldest Winter Ever was really good. Fly Girl was really good. And then just romance books. But now I'm on more like, I guess you could say self-development, holistic. What would you call this? Esoteric. But this was I don't think this is sci-fi. Like this is, somebody was in the FBI, CIA, whatever. He put it in a fiction book and he put it out there. He's trying to wake up the masses, but I haven't heard. I'm the only one that I know say, y'all need to read. The game is life. The game is life. The game is life. The game. And nobody else knows about it. Like everybody that I tell are hearing it for the first time. I'm going to get a shirt with this book on it. And that's another thing I want to work on. I want my clothes to have messages on them. Like, I want it to be a regular plain shirt with a chakra symbol. So if someone say, hey, what is that? It can open up conversation or it might send healing to them. You know what I mean? I just want conscious clothes, conscious socks, conscious swimsuit, conscious sigils for the car, conscious plates, bowls, cups, silverware, straws, bed sets, sheet sets, blankets, purses. Like, if the Lord helps me bring that to pass, that would be my vision. Like self-care, self-development, self-growth, self-love, and then esoteric. And if the two of them marry, that could be another business too. But let me keep going. But before I can kind of start these ventures, I have to do the groundwork, which is myself. I can't tell somebody, oh, you need to do this, and I haven't. So it's kind of like my business going to be like established in 2019, but it may take a while before it finally get off the ground, which is fine because you can't beat self-experience. I can be like, girl, I remember when I was depressed and this is what I did, So, just day by day, I'll get there. So let me just read that again. I love to read, just love it. Since someone first put a book in my hand, I've been hooked. Most of my friends don't read, which makes no sense to me. Books contain so much knowledge, clearly written down and there for the taking. It could be a cure in cancer in so many books, but because people don't read, they're getting chemo treatments. It just blows my mind. And you know what the worst part about it is? My ancestors died, got their hands chopped off, got their fingers chopped off, were hung for trying to learn to read. People that were helping us read were killed too. Oh, you want to teach them how to read? And there's a law that we can't read. So, though what the first thing I'm going to do, like my past life, I must have been a slave. Because, you cannot tell me not to read. I'm going to read every chance I get. For the simple fact that you didn't want me to. All right, let me keep going. There's a lot for me to do and see in this life of mine. And I don't have time to waste studying. Just one or two things. For 50 years. I really feel like that. You can't just give me one study. They like to say, a master of many is not a master at all. That's a lie. You need to be a master of many. Do they tell that to farmers? Do they tell that to people who homestead? No. She knows how to heal a wound. She knows how to stitch up her body. She knows how to make clothes from scratch. She knows how to farm with the animals. She knows how to grow herbs. You know what I mean? That is a master of many. You're supposed to be a master of many. So sometimes when you hear stuff, it's like, whatever. Who made that up? You need to be a master of so many things. Because relying on people a lot, it may not be like that. You need to know certain things for yourself. Now, whether you choose to do them or not is one thing. You can know how to clean up, but you can still hire a maid. You could cook, but you could still hire a chef. It's the fact that you know how to do it on your own. When I have a garden, I'm probably going to hire somebody to help me with the gardening. But I'm going to know how to do it too. Let's see. This book was written years before I was born, so he has been gone a long time. But the great news that I still get to talk to him in a way by reading this wonderful book he left behind. And I kind of feel like that was a message from the author. And I think that was the truth. We come back. We hear reincarnation so many times. And so many people write books. And when they come back, they can read that book, catch up, pick right back up where they left off. Let me see. There are so many movies out there that kind of hint at the idea. Stephanie says that the best secrets are kept in the open for everyone to see. You miss out on so much by doing that. If there is one thing that the two of us are committed to studying our entire lives, it's diversity. There is a thin wall of water extending from the lake blocking my path. I summon mental energy and push it away so I can keep walking. He is a leader who's comfortable to step in and take charge without appearing arrogant or superior. Yeah, sure, kid. It was a book that you wrote during your last play. See what I mean? He looked like the hero that comic book writers draw, but his energy, feel it, and you know immediately that he's not the hero. The mainframe shuts it all down, and the game ends forever. Some people hear us say God or the supercomputer and get freaked out, so we decided to call it the universe. You know what's so funny is in this book, the mainframe or God is Sophia. Now, y'all, did they not create an AI called Sophia who has her own citizenship? Oh, okay. We eat, sleep, and drink incorrectly. We don't exercise enough. We should really get interested in biology and start to learn how the mind works. The subconscious is apparently quite powerful too. Yoga, Eastern medicine, and spirituality, Western medicine and biology and exercise, psychology, energy, karma, chakras. I feel like this book was speaking to me. You know what? I'm going to read. So I read these books digitally. I'm going to buy them and read them again with the knowledge that I have now. And I'll probably be able to do a whole nother podcast because it'll be fresh. Because I was listening to, there's some guy on YouTube. You can listen to him read the whole thing. And I'll probably miss out on some things because I'll be multitasking. But I'm going to buy them and read them. I'm so excited to reread this book. They look and act like any other avatar except they aren't controlled by players. A pattern to her routes. Lucky for us, I've spent time teaching Danny never to take the same route anywhere more than twice in a row. So see how they're saying I taught her? So this is one of the angels that's been with her all along. Be honest with me. Why do I get fat and sick when I eat tasty junk food? Why do I have to sacrifice so much of my time studying in order to improve my intelligence? If you desire wealth, you can't sit in front of your TV screen and expect it to find you. We've been dating for just over a month now, and although it's very fun to spend time with her, I can't seem to find a moment to get anything else done. It's a little bit more, y'all. I love this book. Like my dad says, if everyone says they like you, then some of them are lying. My current homework is to listen. Whenever I can talk with someone, my goal is to ask good questions and then listen. I just stand there, not knowing what to say. Thoughts begin to leak into my brain. After a moment, I realize this can be bad or good thing for me, depending on how I choose to view it. I choose good, and my brain does its best to help me out. This is when he was trying to sit and meditate. I think I'm going to go call my girlfriend, hear my thoughts, and laugh out loud. They're not like me to be that way. I really want to talk to him, and life can get busy. It's okay that he hasn't been around. Still, I let it ring a few more times before answering. He pops up on my video screen. I give him a big grin. I'm not going to be the one of those nagging girls. This is when the two of them started dating. Their bodies in the East. In the West, we seem more concerned with just fixing the body once it breaks or pumping foreign chemicals into it to hide the real symptoms. This book got so much truth in it. So in Eastern medicine, they prevent illnesses. So everything's preventative. Do your teas, do your herbs, do your yoga, do your meditate, do your mantras. Everything is to keep you having a good life, to avoid the woes and sickness and stuff. Here in like America, the Western, it's like, okay, now that you have cancer, this is what you can do to ease until you die or whatever. It's like, no, don't help me after the sickness. Help me avoid the sickness altogether. Like, how can we go from condoms preventing you from getting diseases, but foods, eat everything you want, and then come to the doctor and I'll help you out? Like, how are we selling two different things? Okay, so chakra, acupuncture, Reiki. Oh my gosh, this is so crazy. This is everything that I'm into. It's very important stuff. One of us should study it if we want to keep these machines of ours healthy as long as possible. And I really do feel like if we are light beings, I mean, if you're a spark of energy, if you're electricity, then you're inside of this body, which would make it the most intelligent computer. It's a robot. It literally is a robot. It's your spaceship. It's a machine. And they want to talk about, oh, there's spaceships in the sky. You're in a spaceship right now. Your eyes are looking outside of the body. Your mind, you're inside the body like a suit, which means you can get out of it, which means it's a machine. So I think we are the most advanced machines. Like, a lot of movies are starting to hint at that. Like, I think we feel like we're not a machine because we don't plug into the wall. We are a machine because you know where you get your chi energy from? The air that you breathe, the water that you drink, and the food that you eat. So instead of plugging in a wall, we're feeding it to ourselves. We're breathing, we're drinking, we're eating. That's how you're recharging yourself. But you still get plugged. Okay, so let's see. It's all very important stuff. One of us should study it if we want to keep these machines of ours healthy as long as possible. Chiropractics. My mission this year is to find a holistic chiropractic doctor and to draw my blood and to make sure I'm doing all my vitamins and stuff. But I'm not okay with the hospital or doctors that are pushing chemicals that have not even been experimented or tested on, or where all the animals died into people's bodies. Like, I just cannot get over that. I don't want a doctor. I don't trust them, not with my life or my baby's life. So I'm going to look for a chiropractor. Kinesiology. I'm going to get a book on that. Do you know the eye can tell you sicknesses in your body? Your hand, the lines in your hands can tell you sicknesses in your body. The bottom of your feet. It's like a whole thing, kinesiology. there's different parts of your body, your ear, that will tell you. And that's why with acupuncture, they know the meridians and landlines of your body, which is basically all of your veins. And our energy gets stuck. And that's where illnesses and blockages come from. So you can have an acupuncture, you can have a Reiki person, you can have a pastor do prayer, you can eat right. Like, the point is, you have to move that energy because it's stuck. And your chakras are like wheels of spinning energy. And when they get blocked, you get sicknesses in those areas. And the big 7 major chakras are your major organs. And then it breaks down into so many more, even 72,000, like basically all the veins in your body. So every single part of your body is important. So when they say, oh, take out the spleen, oh, take out the tonsils, are you God? Oh, so God told you could take that out? Like, I just don't trust them. They just come up with a lie and run with it. Like, how are we still saying it's okay to tell people Santa Claus is real? Like, that just goes to show you how they just lie and everybody, ha ha, he think it's okay. Like that's not okay. I'm not going to teach my kids that. Let's see. I don't want to lose what we've had all these years, our friendship. I agree with that. Friendship is the most important, because what older people will tell you is that you'll have days where you may not love your partner. You may not even like them, but you can still be cordial with them and be their friend. That friend goes a long, long way. Like, for example, you can have I've had so many boyfriends, but my friends have always been there. My friends have been there. The boyfriends come and go. I think when it comes to a marriage, you need to have that friend too, because you guys are going to have your up and down. But if that friendship is there, that's still going to be your homie at the end of the day. Like, y'all can always go back to the basics. That you really care for this person. That, outside of all the other stresses that relationships bring, y'all have that basic friendship foundation. It's going to take you very far. So they were really good friends at first, and then they started dating, and things just started to get a little iffy. But it was a game that they were playing. It wasn't them. Okay, so I think the game wanted to keep them apart because they would dominate and they would change all the players in the game. So the game was trying to keep them apart, but it was so many people betting on them and trying to help them because, they were really helping the whole world. Okay, so at least right now it doesn't matter because it's in the past and it has nothing to do with our relationship. People start to become romantic, and no matter how hard they try, it ends and the friendship disappears. I honestly agree with that. Well, my ex, I don't know, we had the worst breakup ever, but we were like better friends than I've ever had in my life. And that was just him with someone else, me with someone else, and we could still check up on each other, just make sure we're okay, and family still communicate. I don't know. It was like, well, this was better than the relationship. So I really, really get what they're saying. So people start to become romantic. No matter how hard they try, it ends. The friendship disappears with it. I don't want that to happen with you. Dear and close friends are the most precious treasures in the world. And I agree with that. Like, I've changed so much. And I give it up to my friends, because they have to they have to adapt to it or decide if they still want to be my friend, and they do. And you know what I learned at that yoga retreat? She said when you change and grow, you know that you change and grow, but you have to tell the people around you. And I haven't done that. So I'm going to start to do that. Like, okay, this is where I am in my life. These are my new boundaries. This is what I'm into now. Because for the most part, they've just kind of figured it out and have been flowing with me. But I haven't officially said, I've done some work. This is where I am. This is the new me. And she was like, you kind of give that to them. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never done that before. And she was talking about in relationships, but I'm thinking about my friendships. Like, I think relationships end because you grow apart. I really think you just grow apart. That's all. In life, like, there's different levels of thinking. There's different levels of acting. There's different ambitions. Like, there's just all these levels. And you either move forward together. And some people move differently, but they just make so much effort to stay. And they just make it work. And then some people, they're just on so different opposite railroad tracks. No matter how much they want it to work, it just doesn't. So keeping, having those moments. And I remember I've been looking at a lot of relationship videos too. And this one girl, she was saying how they just do check-ins. Like, how are we? Like monthly, like Is there anything that I could be doing better? Is there anything you can be doing better? Are we still good? Do we need to still keep working at this? Should we call it quits? Because usually there's a lot of build up, and then it's just like a disaster. But if you have those check-ins, you can either nip it in the bud and fix it, or, cut your losses before you have too many. Okay, so I'm going to continue. Friends first always. And that's me. If we're not good friends, we're not going to be good anything else. The universe takes its own time bringing things into play. And that's where I left off at. I'm pretty sure I marked up a whole bunch more. But that's probably it. The universe takes its own time bringing things into play. I agree with that. I think things go a lot faster, but for some reason, I don't know why they're so slow. I hate how slow things are. I feel like they're so much faster. Okay, let's see. Did I do the next one? I really love this book, y'all. Oh, it's another one I got to go back and read. The Ward. Terry Scott. Why all of them ain't in here? Oh, because I was listening. I didn't buy all of them. I bought the ones that I couldn't find on YouTube. That's what it was. Okay, so I want to go over this one with y'all. Renaissance, The Game is Life. Now, this is number 9. So this is skipping from 1 to 9. You might be lost because a lot has happened from 1 to 9. And it's only 1, so it's not going to be that many. First of all, as I've just demonstrated with you, it's completely natural for everyone, no matter how educated or open-minded, to mock that which they do not understand. And I'm gonna remember that, because I'm up here brushing my teeth with baking soda, coconut oil, peroxide, and mint, and people laughing thinking it's funny. But you are constantly brushing your teeth every morning with fluoride, and later the doctor's gonna tell you something about it, and you don't know that you're causing it to yourself every day. It's just, I hate it here sometimes. I really do. I've also come to learn that anything that receives an abnormal high amount of negative feedback tends to be a point or a thought that is very close to being a deep and universal truth. I've also come to learn that anything that receives an abnormally high amount of negative feedback, okay, he was giving us a message. What's giving a lot of negative feedback right now? Not getting the shot. What did he say about that? Things that have high amount of negative feedback tends to be very close to a deep universal truth. Oh, okay. And I came up with my own saying. Let those who have ears see, and let those who have eyes hear. And what I mean by that is sometimes you can see something and, let me do here. Sometimes you can see more than you can hear, and sometimes you can hear more than you can see. So, looking at something, I might not see that anything is happening. But hearing something might tell me, something is happening. For example, if I'm in a car driving and I hear boom, and this has happened before. A few moments later, click, 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 someone hit my car. I didn't see an accident. I heard it coming, and I had my foot on the brake. And if I didn't have my foot on the brake, I would have hit the car in front of me, but I was already prepared for that car because I heard it. I didn't see it, I heard it. Okay, now let's put that in reverse. Sometimes you can see something that you can't hear. Okay. So somebody break in. You might can see them, but you didn't hear them break in, now did you? All right. So I like that. Like, let those who have eyes hear, and let those who have ears see. Okay? Because it's tricky in this world. And it almost makes me want to think whatever they say is good is really bad. And whatever they say is bad is really good. And if you just live like that, you're really living the right way. So while everybody thinking, oh my God, da, 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 I will always remember, I'm gonna get a little pendant of a turtle and put it on my neck. Because that story is so true to me. Like, the turtle literally won the race. Everybody was laughing at him for being slow. But at the end, he won. So you could be, eating the right things and trying to just change your life so much, because in the end, it's going to give you the best result. And a lot of people just don't want to make that change. A lot of people just don't. They're so comfortable. They've been doing things for so long that they don't want to change. But I just don't understand. I really just don't understand it. Because if they say right now, like, put a lock on your door so people won't walk in your house and rob you. Everybody will put a lock on their door. Okay, everything else is the same. Don't, brush with that toothpaste because it has fluoride in it and it's messing with your brain. If that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what would. Don't drink the tap water. It has fluoride in it. It's messing with your brain. If people aren't concerned about their own brain, I don't know. There's a lot that people will never understand, but their subconscious mind will always recognize the truth when it appears. Time will tell, and I always say that. That's where I get that from. Time will tell. And I really feel like at the end of my life, I'm going to look around. There's not going to be a lot of people around me. And I just don't want it to happen. Like, why we all can't live to an old age together. And I know that everybody isn't making the choices to be able to do that. So I already know. I don't know. It's like so sad. Companies. So excuse the mess. Stop it from affecting you. There are techniques that will allow us to shield ourselves from the majority of the ill effects. When the next generation hears music, they will do more than smile and dance to it. They will learn the secrets of the universe. And although he said music in here, with the knowledge that I have, he meant frequencies. Because I can turn on frequency music and start to feel so much better. There's different songs that have different frequency that feel better. When I listen to somebody doing live with real instruments, I get a better feeling than the electronic instruments. Like, I love a good record that have someone live playing live music in it, like my soul, like it's alive. I feel it. I have a singing bowl, like that's a live frequency right there. So the next best thing would be like a YouTube frequency, but if you can get your own sound bowl, I want to get my own, what are they called? A tone, something tone. Different frequencies, a bell. Anyways, I'm going to start incorporating a lot of real natural music healing into my life. Like, I can't play piano or guitar or anything like that, but I did learn flute in band, so maybe I can find a little flute and be like, doo, 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 doo. Okay, let me see. It's just a little bit more, y'all. The batch hasn't exploded yet. His head shook from side to side. Well, that's good, I suppose. Why do you say that? You know the routine better than I do. An orb suddenly gets super bright. Then it cracks and goes dark a few hours or days later. It's been longer than that with this, though. Much longer. He stroked his beard as he stared at the glowing field below. I'm guessing that if they haven't died by now, then they likely won't. The glow must be caused by something else. Any guesses as to what? Sure. His hand came away from his face and he made a twisting motion. The bottle caps struck against each other to create a pleasant chiming sound that lingered in the air for long seconds. It's most likely a warning that one or more of them is in danger. If that is the case, I cannot discern which one or group that it is. Then bring in your big guns to help. Isn't that one of the reasons why you all keep him around? It isn't to sit his turn over a field. It isn't to sit his turn over a field, that's for sure. Alf frowned. Now, Alf has red bottle caps on his gloves. And his job, in his hand is 5 planets. And he can go to any of those planets that he wants and visit any of those beings. Now, we know how many people's on Earth. These are 5 planets in the palm of his hand. And his job is to send energy to those planets to keep those souls alive. Now, he's just one person with 5 planets in his hand. But there are a field of people with planets in their hand. And the planets look like little fireflies. Now, this thought alone just like blew my mind. And it reminds me of Eternals, which is why I wanted to put all of this together. So there's humans on Earth. There were the creatures sent to the big god started with animals on the earth, right? Think dinosaurs. He sent the big creatures to kill off the dinosaurs so that intelligent life could begin, such as humans. So the creatures was trying to eat the humans, so he sent the immortals. So the immortals would fight off the creatures that were trying to eat the humans so the humans could stay. But the whole point of the humans being there is so that Earth was like a big egg for this creator God. And when the creator God would wake up, he would burst like a big bang. How they all say the earth started with a big bang. And he would create so many more, universes and galaxies and stuff at the expense of all of those souls. So to me, it's like, okay, there's humans, there's immortals, there's the big guys that create the galaxies, but then that one guy that made the other guys, okay, who is his God and who is his God and who? It's just like my mind is like so like this earth, like y'all stick with the earth. I know it's so much more to learn. I'm like, okay, I'm over this. Like, next. Okay, so it's a little bit more, but I suppose there are a lot of things I'll never know the answer to in this lifetime or the next. And I agree with that. I feel like with each lifetime, we get more schooling. The universe doesn't need to be perfect. Truth of the matter is, it doesn't want you to be so. As for the discussion we just had, it's your choice to find something useful in it or not. Homeless people are on the street because of themselves, as a result of the choices they've made and their reactions to a bunch of strange, unique circumstances that have popped up along their journey. None of that has anything to do with you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to change it. That was a hard pill to swallow because I be wanting to give all the money in the world to them. I just feel like a lot of them are veterans. They come back home and the government treats them like crap. But you know what? We all have choices in front of us that can put us there. If I don't go to work, I won't have money for a place to stay or food to eat, and I will be on the street. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that could lead you down that road, and maybe that's where they want to be. And some of them are con artists. But this book is so good. I'm going to rebuy them and restart it again. And maybe I'll do a couple series on them. But that was the end of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this podcast and took something from it. Like I always say, Namaste, Lovaste, and vibe high, babe. Sometimes you're going to be down. This life is dualities. We go up, we go down. There's lessons in everything. Feel what you need to feel. Take the time that you need to take, but don't stay down. Get back up and live. There's so much more to live for. Focus on something else. Do something else. If you don't like the job, leave. You don't like the place, move. We just don't be giving ourselves all of the options that we can have. But until next episode, catch you next time. Thanks a million for listening. There's a million podcasts in the world. You clicked on this one, this one, to hear what I have to say. I hope Universe has a special message for you. You can reach me on Linktree at /love.meesh. I hope you have a better than great day. Love ya. Talk to you later. Bye.
You all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet, I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction. And all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?